What's up, guys? I'm Jeff, the founder of Worldwide Cyclery, and today we're going to dive into the review of the OneUp Components dropper post. So, OneUp Components is a small company in Squamish, British Columbia, Canada, of passionate mountain bikers, and they have been making some of the most innovative, interesting, cool mountain bike products ever since they formed their company. And their dropper post, although sort of late to the game, there's been a ton of other droppers on the market before this thing came out. This thing, of course, in OneUp Components fashion, had a bunch of super interesting features to it that no one else really thought of or did. And not only is it crazy reliable, but it's also super affordable. So these posts are $199 just for the post and then $49 for the lever. So in terms of cost, that's extremely competitive for an infinitely adjustable dropper post these days. Speaking of adjustment, that's another one of the really unique features that these guys came out with. So they sell these things in a 150 and a 170 mil travel version, but you can actually adjust the amount of travel the post has using this shim, and it takes about 3 minutes. It's super easy to do. OneUp made a really good video on how exactly to do it. You basically just cut the shim to the length you want to adjust it by, slide this off, slide the shim in, and you're done. I mean, it's crazy easy to adjust these things. So the 170 mil version of the post, you can get down to 120 and anywhere in between. And the 150 mil version of the post, you can get all the way down to 100 mils and anywhere in between. So that's really convenient because if you want the longest drop, right? Most people are sort of searching for the longest dropper post they can put on their bike, but the limitations are they're only available in certain increments, typically 100, 125, 150, 170. But if you say, you want the most amount of drop possible, and that ends up for you being 135, with another post, you'd have to go with the 125 and just deal with it. Well, with OneUp, you can get the 150, and you can actually adjust the thing to have 135 millimeters of travel, which is an incredible feature that no one's thought of but these guys. And not only did they think of it, but they executed on it, and they made it really easy for you to adjust it. I mean, it literally takes 3 minutes. And these shims cost $10, and I think they're coming with the remotes now. Speaking of the remote, that's another thing, not sold with the post, sold separately for $49. They have them available for a bar clamp or for Shimano iSpect or for a SRAM brake, so it can hook right up to your brake. Carbon fiber, fully sealed bearing. Can't really have a better dropper remote than that. I think Wolftooth was the first company that ever came out with a dropper post lever that had a fully sealed roller bearing in it, and it's amazing to have that there because then you have no play in the lever and it's super smooth as far as actuation goes. So lever is top notch as well. That obviously includes the cable, and then depending on which lever you get will include the mount kit to hook it up to your brake. The other thing, shortest dropper post ever. So another issue with dropper post is more or less that overall length of like how long the actual post is. So you want to be able to get it as far down into your frame as you can, which is an issue, say if you have if you're riding, certain brand frames have basically just less seat tube to work with, and that gets even smaller if you're on like a size small frame or extra small size frame. This is the shortest one on the market right now in terms of just I don't remember what they call that term, but overall length of the dropper post is the shortest. So phenomenal stuff. I mean, it's pretty shocking to see how many features this has, how reliable it's been. We've been selling these things, have been flying off the shelves like crazy since they've been introduced, and we've spent a lot of time on them so far and had a lot of customers who have had a lot of time on them so far, and it's just crazy how reliable and consistent these things are. I think there's a number of posts now that are actually reliable and consistent. 3 years ago, I would have said there's nothing that's reliable and consistent in terms of a dropper post, but nowadays people are actually getting there. So what are some of the cons to this thing? Well, it's only internal routing, so if you don't have a bike that uses sort of that stealth internal routing for your cable, this post is not going to work for you, whereas a lot of other brands still make the external versions as well. Probably less common these days, but still something to consider if you are on a bike that can't use an internally routed dropper post. They only come in 30.9 and 31.6, so that kind of rules out the 27.2 crowd and the 34.9 crowd, although you probably could get away with a shim for a 34.9 C-tube diameter if you wanted to. Man, not much more to say about the Post. It's impressive what they've done here. The adjustability is cool. The lever is cool. The price point is amazing. OneUp as a brand, their slogan is "Work less, ride more," which I really like and something I support and I think is really cool. It's cool to see small companies of talented, passionate mountain bikers that are also phenomenal engineers making really cool products like this. So let us know in the comments, have you guys tried one of these, or are you riding another dropper post? Have you had dropper post nightmares in the past like we all have? Share this with a buddy who needs a new dropper post or anyone you think relevant. If you want to see more awesome mountain bike content like this, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. See you guys in the next one.